Okay. Safety meeting on Thursday, 23rd, 2024 to order. Roll call, please.
Kevin, Randy,
Here.
Cameron,
Here.
and we have two absent, Candy and Tammy.
Yep.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Presentations and recognitions for the Mount Horeb Baptist Threat Response.
I basically gave you guys a copy of a letter of commendation that I gave my entire staff. During that incident, we happened to all be at firearms training that day, and we all responded from the range. It was a call for all available units. We did have an officer on duty that was here, a part-time officer, and he was basically second on scene beside the Horeb units that neutralized the threat. He was instrumental in finding some additional stuff that helped with that investigation. We responded as a team. I separated our team to make sure that some of them would go to what's called staging. And then Sergeant Hudson and I went to the main area and assisted with assembling teams to go into the high school and do some searching and things like that. But my entire team responded to that, and it was a very stressful day. And so I gave them a letter of commendation that goes in their file permanently for their work that day in ensuring the safety of the families and the people that responded. So that's all that is. It's just a copy so you guys can see what went in their file. It's kind of a big deal for them as they continue their career.
I was curious how everybody was able to take it so those were training.
Yeah, we were training at the range, and then the call came in. We were just getting done too, and call came in, and I like, did I just hear what I think I just heard? And we just kind of jumped in, and we had two squads, so we split up the team into 2 3s, and 3 of us went right away down there, and then the other 3 stopped here first to pick up radios, body cameras, extra stuff that we might need. But we never got connected because we were the officer that was with us. I sent him to go corral the other 3 and go to staging and have them assign them. And only us supervisors responded to the scene because we knew that, or I knew that right away they would need, leadership to help coordinate the different teams and different officers responding. And so we were part of the entry team into the high school. But all ended well, and I just wanted to make sure that my staff was recognized for responding.
Just wanted to extend that recognition to you too.
Yes.
Not only, your leadership on all matters.
Right.
We'll pick up on that day and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. With that, what I did was I basically contacted Middleton PD and said, look, we're all here in the heat of it, and I know that the rest of our schools are going to wonder, and we weren't able to release a lot of information, and so the perception of fear was still going to be in the community. Reached out to Chief Hellenbrand, who assigned officers, and matter of fact, he himself came to the village and patrolled our village, and just kind of there was presence right away here in the village, so the schools could continue to function without fear that something was coming this way. So not that there was any danger, but that perception of danger is almost sometimes just as bad. So we were able to, Chief Hellenbrand and I have a really good relationship, and that was an easy ask, and he was more than willing to assist us. So I did follow up with the letter to him and his staff, thanking them. So he should have received that by now. So
It would be nice for the village board to extend some of the Middleton police department for their assistance too.
all right. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Right. Public comment. This is an opportunity for anyone to address the committee on any issue. You can observe the time limit, 3 minutes. Encourages input from residents and may not just person act on any issues that is listed on the agenda. Does anyone have a public comment?
I think everybody's here for items on the agenda. I do have somebody online. Araceli, I'm assuming that you're here for one of the line items.
That is correct.
So there's no public comment. I didn't receive any emails from anybody regarding any other topic that we're not discussing already.
We can move on now to approving the minutes from April 16th, 2024. Do I have a motion? Motion in a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same. So moved. Report, on public safety committee officers.
On the cover tonight previously with just thanking Chief Tony for his leadership in the active threat that happened at Mount Horeb. Also just another shout out, we had a full house at the last village board meeting for people receiving awards and commendation, not even for the Mount Horeb incident, but for other life-saving matters in the village. You know, EMS was thanked, police was thanked, fire was thanked, the employers of some of the volunteer EMS and firefighters were also thanked, staff at Piggly Wiggly. So just there's, I mean, this room was full and we had the curtain open for people coming to that. So that was really cool to see. Thank you for organizing that. And again, giving recognition where it's due. Also to you for your leadership for all that stuff too. And then the only other thing I have is enjoy the Memorial Day festivities this weekend. The parade on Monday, barbecue chicken, and hopefully folks do so safely. Any report from any members?
Thank you, and to recap the quick trophies, during the next plans, share trophies and as part of the Lions Club, thank safety departments, divisions here. It was pretty neat to have everyone come together. Creekside, it was, I never heard of an incident. Helped out a little bit, and I'll let you guys all report out individually, but it's the Lions Club and the Chamber of Commerce. Want to thank everyone in the village for helping out and making that safe for them. Bigger than we've ever had. It's a new growth. Great feedback. So.
All right, report from first responder, sort of EMS.
Sure. Since I actually was people that used this last water. So this morning we stayed there for we had a staff ambulance there for the majority of there was a committee where they were going to release it's not basic enough and keeping us there to answer some more that would come off as far as we have staff out there the day just several days we had a medical tent down there spent that for the day just unfortunately it was just a couple bumps and bruises and a turned ankle, but we're really trying to increase our community outreach to the EMS department. Part of it this week is the EMS week. Yesterday was the children's focus day for EMS, so we went to Park School. We had our ambulance in Dane County Rescue 30 there and gave the kids schoolers speeches on calling 911 like that. Our open houses tomorrow from 4 to 7. We're going to have food, live music, We have the county's ambulance as well as our ambulance in case we need to respond to any calls. When we just get the station tours, information about CPR and stuff, we, as well as trying to get volunteers. These are the kind of the active shooter incident management, juvenile awareness, and ambulance is expected to be delivered next May or June. We're just some of the estimates on stuff, but that's our target date to have.
This maybe, that's what's gonna be all it takes to get, you know.
You know, those fire trucks, I mean, they just got their new fire truck and it took over a year and now, I mean, hopefully you get ours here as quick as possible, but.
Almost a year for us.
Did want to mention, just looking at April and May, put out our fall response. Since January of this year, response time, so what's the just been steadily increasing. We're to May right now, our average is 53 stacks. So, company coming is 3 minutes, 3 minutes, you know, the door. We're at 53 stacks. So,
We see the times are going down.
I mean, it's obviously good, but you guys change anything?
I think it's we as leaders are really kind of false in on it. Again, obviously, we're going to especially it's more to get.
Thank you so much.
Question?
Yes. Not me.
Yes. Right now, sorry, but we are at, I think the role that I just was working on today, we have 45 members. That they give us full part-time and volunteers.
So coverage is good. I know in previous we talked about times where somebody you call with the staff.
Yeah, we're actually doing a really good job right now. We can one of two, GMT and either, combinations on the 1 a.m. rate. We're shooting for 3, where we have a driver. We can to impact. Yeah. Pretty good.
Fire, there's nobody from fire. I believe the chief is on vacation. He didn't provide a report, so I don't think there's anything to report there.
Sorry, but yeah.
Yes. Just a couple things. One, we're in line again we're already ahead of last year's call volume. Seems like some of our calls have started to increase and a little bit more violent, a little more. Actually today we responded to an armed robbery with a gun. So we're working through that. We've had a couple bigger thefts, things like that, a little more violent people not from our community, obviously, but we have seen a little bit of an uptick in that area. Right now we have active, last count, 14 open investigations that Sergeant Hudson and I are working through, anywhere from death investigations to a few sexual assaults, and now today this armed robbery. So our call volume is going up. Some of the seriousness of the volumes are going up. Nobody from our community, by far, we don't have anything like that. Today, the U.S. Marshals Service also arrested a gentleman out of a business here who was soliciting children online for sexual stuff. And so U.S. Marshals Service took care of that. But again, in our community. So, sometimes, I get comments of, it's just Cross Plains. There's not a lot happening. There is a lot happening. We're very busy. And it's kind of the world right now. And So just wanted to let you guys know that. And we did lose an officer. An officer decided that this just isn't for that officer, so we are in a hiring process. The good thing is that we've developed a very good reputation, I believe, in law enforcement in Dane County and beyond. I put it out for a job opening on the 21st. I had multiple applications the very next day. So I believe we're gonna be fine. It's just going through the process of hiring someone else is always kind of tedious and puts a little bit of a strain on the staff. I continue to authorize all of their vacation, to make sure that they are well and they're able to take that time off. That hurts obviously upper management, including myself, because we still have to cover those calls, but again, I'm just trying to make sure that they're okay. And so right now, we're gonna go through a hiring process again. Police commission has already met. We ironed it out with the village board. We no longer have to bring it to the village board to approve. So that way it speeds up our process. Any position that's already been authorized, basically, we can just move forward with the hiring process. So we're gonna do that. I am gonna start approaching the board because I think we need to start anticipating more and more turnover with younger staff. It's the way it is. Every department in Dane County and beyond is hurting for staff. And the more you train your staff, they're looking for money, they're looking for better opportunities. We're gonna get into a little bit of a revolving door until we can get our wages up. So with that, I've already approached a couple board members about starting to talk about maybe sponsoring people in the academy. The academy is no longer taking people that sponsor themselves or pay for themselves. The academy is full all the time with people that get hired first, and then go to the academy, and the agencies are paying for that academy. The Department of Justice reimbursed some of that cost. And with the void of an officer, you're saving money anyway, so you might as well get them right away, right outside, and send them into the academy. The things that we're trying to iron out is contracts and things like that, because you put somebody through the academy and pay them to go to the academy, and then they come out of the academy and leave, then where does that leave us? So we're gonna be looking at legal stuff and how we, maybe have a 3-year contract.
Work agreement.
Yeah,
For
a minimum of 3 years. If not, you gotta reimburse the village or something like that. So other agencies are doing the same thing. For instance, my son works with Fitchburg Police Department. He was hired before he even made it to the academy. They put him through the academy, then they paid him to be in the academy. And so that really shows a lot to those younger people that are looking for work in this field. So I think we're nowhere behind that. I mean, we're gonna have to start dealing with that. So just kind of just food for thought. I'll need your support at some point, but sounds like I'll have the support from the board. It's just kind of a no-brainer. We not only do we have to maintain our staff, but we need to start looking at adding staff.
we need to be aggressive, so we have.
Right.
Constant pulling, because there's been
Right.
turnover.
Right.
We talk about more than really the size of departments.
Right.
It just. Has resources to pull in.
Right.
And start from zero.
And this time I plan on establishing an eligibility list. So, a minimum of 12 months. We didn't have those problems when we had people like Scott and some of these officers that were here for 30 years. We didn't have those issues. And now we have those issues. So eligibility lists are good because if we hire one and then somebody leaves, we just scoop another one from that list. And so it's just very helpful as long as we can maintain that list. So just kind of food for thought. Nothing really more to report.
All right. Moving on to our topics for tonight, a discussion of possible action regarding additional locations for Red Flag program. This is something we defer from this one, so you have any good
So the proposal's been for a new flag up here, right? Old Military Road across here. I did reach out to public facilities and Jerry had no problem with having another one. The way we normally do it is we pay for the flags. So we replenish flags if they're gone or destroyed or whatever. And then they install the buckets that they go in. I don't have, there's no issue with having one there. I think we'll leave it up to Jerry how to do it, but I need a motion to add it to that spot or any additional spots. Okay.
You need to discuss like. The additional spots people are thinking.
I don't have any new stuff, the only note I have is to make sure that there's staff,
Yeah,
there's the one. Who monitors that.
we just kind people will say, hey, we're missing flags. What's happening is some of them get moved and then they keep them and then they're like, oh, I forgot to drop, and then they drop them at another bucket. So they're all over, but I'll just order more this time.
One that like Rich.
Yeah.
I checked one from another.
Yeah.
spot.
And that's what's happening is they're not, nobody's stealing them. They're just moving them from location to location. So, but I'll get some additional ones when we add this one. I'll just get an extra pad. Okay, there's motion for, who did the motion, Randy?
Alright.
All those in favor?
Yep. All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Alright. Okay, next one, discussion possible action regarding two of our parking zone on both the east and west side of the branch.
This Araceli's on, and I think Tim is here. This is a topic we've already discussed. If you remember, we discussed it when the park came in and we started to see a lot of people and the community brought it to us to kind of think of no parking for the park reason. And you guys unanimously denied it. It wasn't gonna go forward. Both parks, Mike Jackson is not for it. And I'm not for it. And the reason I'm not for it is because as a village, we're trying to provide more and more parking. And matter of fact, that's why the village hall is going where it's going. And part of the problem that we have there is they're looking at to add 50 plus parking spots to start eliminating spots or creating 2-hour parking spots. First of all, it's a nightmare to patrol because how are you going to, you're gonna have to rely on someone actually complaining about it. We don't have the manpower to sit there and monitor a vehicle. You can't chalk tires anymore. That's long gone. So that becomes a problem. But more importantly, one of the biggest complaints the village gets, which is there's not enough parking in the village. And to start eliminating spots, it goes against growth. And I mean, I know we've talked about having even alternate side parking and all of those things. So we've already discussed all those things. But that's my 2 cents. And Mike said he would not support it either. He was gonna send me an email, but I think today he was really busy with the storms and things like that. So he didn't.
This is just.
Right, it's that,
Any other concerns from home?
I think one homeowner has reached out. I haven't received any other homeowners complaint. What my understanding is that the complaint is not about the park traffic. It's about a business. People from a business have been parking on one side of the street. And I don't know what that problem has generated. I know that in talking, because I did receive the business is Safari Bilingual Center that's using that side street, the park for their employees. I know that and I won't speak too much for Araceli, but it sounded like they were going to park on Bourbon Street, but Bourbon Street, as you well know, is a lot of traffic and so they thought it'd be safer to park on that street. And so I think that the thought to create that 2-hour parking is to eliminate those employees from parking there, which also didn't feel very good because it has nothing to do with the park or park traffic, which we've already discussed. So, but I won't speak for Tim. Tim's right here. He's the one that brought this to our attention.
Yeah, that's what it started when we started talking. And then I contacted her to find out from what kind of source and They're like, limited instruction for that. And the things that are expanding their business. And they wanted more space around that. So the plan said they would come down and do a roof, without builder off versus when they're driving and back out and go out the building yet. So they would do it, it has been used before for other people as a. And several of those people, these two cars for several weeks with park there and, switch out drivers. The park's a very busy park, as you know, this park is a destination spot, so we get a lot of traffic. And, it'd be nice just to have that flexibility to say 2 hours if you get on us. And people will park there because they will never park in there, but we do a 2-hour parking zone on Main Street at the mobile station. We had a place that was a lot of now. You look at it now, you know, because the business kind of was more of a lot of money to get to the gas pumps and the people across there maybe cars parked there all the time. So I think it's a good thing. The park is busier. The stuff we had previously, we actually wanted no parking. Which you have to say like right there out from car across the street. So that thing needs to be our we constantly about that. I think the sign was keep honest people honest and then come there and they'll leave and we won't have an issue. You will probably for a long time.
You want to hear from Araceli?
Yes.
Araceli, would you like to make a comment?
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't really able to hear all that well, and plus I have my kids here too, so they're kind of making noise. So I apologize, I wasn't able to hear much of it. But yeah, I will say that I know there's some rules with the village about how many parking stalls you can have based on the business. And at first my employees were parking not in a stall, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. But then we decided that because there's a lot more parents now using our center, we decided that it would be best for our employees to park by the street to kind of eliminate, the traffic with the parents. And obviously, a lot of our parents we do serve are from the community, so kind of give them, a place to park. And there's kids, so we want everyone parked, there's we don't want that much traffic because for the safety of the children as well. So I did have a someone who lives on that street come and talk to us and just see what's going on or why we had our employees parked there, and I kind of explained the situation. We're also in the middle of building another classroom, which means we will have to serve more families, which means more vehicles, which means our staff don't really have a place to park. So I will say that a lot of our staff do carpool, so it's not as many cars as it should be because a lot of our staff are carpooling. Right now, once the person who lives on that street, and I forgot his name, I'm sorry, but when he came to talk to us, we kind of brought it to our employees' attention, and most of them are now carpooling more. So more staff are taking more staff since they all kind of live close by. And so we have started using our parking lot again. But I will say in the fall, it is going to affect our staff won't be able to park on our parking lot anymore. So they will have to have another place to park. So we're more than willing to cooperate, and we don't want to be inconvenienced to, those who live there. But if there's a solution that we can have or another place that we can park, we're more than happy to do that. But as our staff, we don't want them to park far away either, because that's not fair either. So I will say that we're trying our best to not create an issue or anything like that. So if there's any solutions you guys can help us with, we're more than happy to be flexible, but we're just trying our best to serve the families there at the village. So
Just,
How many cars?
so is where is this business? Is it in the basement of Vendors Insurance?
No, yeah, Andres
That's, yeah.
backside. It's at if you go down the slope and it's in the backside.
I mean, usually, top parking is pretty empty.
Yeah, I did speak to Andre's Insurance and they have clients coming in and out, so they're not, they're not in favor of any kind of no parking restrictions, and they're basically forcing these guys to park somewhere else because they have people coming in and out and they need the parking up front. So I talked to Kelly.
So, because their purchase insurance, that's longer, right?
Yeah.
No.
Araceli, how many cars are you talking?
So right now we have one, if everyone brings their cars to work every single day, we have a total of 11 employees. That's including myself and Yadit. So that's if everyone brought their own car to work, but we're not like I mentioned, a lot of employees are carpooling. So right now I believe there's only 6 cars, and that is including my car and Yadit's car. So
Is there any
that's
way
about
we could
6 vehicles.
compromise by having some park on that street and some park on Bourbon Road? So we don't need to do anything with this?
Yeah, if you guys think that's best, we're more than happy to um
I mean,
yeah,
I
we're
can
more
attest, what Tim is saying is right. That's probably the most used park. Every now and again, you can drive by there and find 50 kids playing, especially in the summer months. So, and it doesn't matter what time of day. So, I mean, right now it's a little easier because there isn't, you got kids in school. But during the summer months, it's full down there at sometimes even at 10 in the morning, there's plenty of people. So if we could compromise and have some park, giving some leeway there and some park on Bourbon, that might be the saving grace here.
Quick question, when we talk about this park related, not business related, we talked about Bourbon Road, a lot of people maybe may not understand you can park as
Right.
an off track,
Right.
and it's both sides.
Yeah,
You know, I don't remember, but we talked about putting signage,
right.
parking on Bourbon Road.
I don't, yeah, I think normally it's no parking, not, hey, I encourage you to park. So
Right.
I don't know if there's even, I mean, I'm sure there is something, but it's not I did bring this up to Jerry and there was signage before that was contradicting our ordinance because that road was used for trucks when you guys did Main Street and those signs never came off. So we were seeing bunch of trucks, semis and big heavy trucks going down that street. I think those signs have been removed. And it's been kind of curbed. We still see people, big trucks going toward the quarry from time to time, down that road because it's just quicker, but. I don't know. I mean, I can look into, hey, you can park here signs, but I think as long as you don't have parking, and if people see you parking there, then I think people would just park there.
I think the natural response is to pull off
Right.
Street after it's parked.
Right.
I think that's.
Right.
There's limited parking there.
Right.
And then the other thing would be in front of Andrews Insurance, is there parking there?
Yep.
In front of the sign,
Yeah, I think there is.
also at stop sign.
Right.
Area.
Yep. So I mean, there's plenty of parking options. Plus, once the police department, that part of the whole build is to add 50 to plus parking spots so people can park there anytime they want. It'll be public parking. That's part of the whole reason why it's going in that spot. So I mean, people could park even in there.
Right.
Right, so, and that would just be a quick walk. I mean, winter months makes things a little more challenging. But again, people are moving it just because of the snow plowing, so they're coming off of that. So. Araceli, if my computer dies, we may not have you on for much longer. It's down to 6%. So just so you know.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Thank
No
you.
problem.
I will say though, this summer, we won't be as busy, so our staff will continue to park how we started parking in the beginning. So I just will say that in the fall is kind of where I don't know if we can talk and come up with a plan or something, so that way we know what's the best option for starting the fall.
I mean, I can understand it from both sides. The only thing is that it's kind of contradictory to what the village is trying to do for parking wise, to start eliminating parking and creating, I mean, we've done it. Valley, remember Valley Street? That was brought up. It was turned down because even the board was like, oh. So I just, even if you make a recommendation, I don't necessarily think that the board would pass that, but who knows, right? So I don't know. I mean, their whole stake is that we need more parking, more spots for people.
Short term too, just I guess a recommendation for residents, forecast too, we just parking, I mean, a little bit, and it's the park and we're at the Congress, I mean, for at least from my end, it's on,
Well-
in front of it, that's the first, so, you'd be clear of that.
For sure. I guess I would prefer to have them work it out more than start creating laws and ordinances that regulate that rather than have be neighborly and just say, okay, I mean, like 11 cars in front of a neighborhood, that'd be a lot.
Yeah.
Right? None of us would want that. That's just a lot. That feels more like a party rather than a parking, right? But I think if we split them up or out and just kind of, I think it sounds like the business is willing to work that. So I mean, you guys can make a recommendation to the board. I put it in a memo or we let them try to work it out.
There's the business piece, but that wasn't brought up last time, that's new.
Right.
There's still, in my opinion, as a resident, I'm not, if I was a resident, as much as I would love that park, it would be a pain.
What's a pain when all the parks are there?
Yeah.
I mean, when people are there
Cars.
all
and people
all day
sitting in
long.
your yard and.
all day
getting
long.
in and out. So, yeah, I get that, and if people are truly, dropping or doing carpooling or, for extended periods of time, yeah, that's rough, for those that maybe didn't, have been around prior to that part.
Right.
So I think you're got a point too that, and then they can continue the total parking, but I think the business aspect is exactly that. If you look back, and that building was one of the reviews where there's two sticky issues. One was the lighting, one was parking. And it's my understanding that they were required to have off street parking and next door and stuff, And that materialized, whatever it was one of the criteria to approve them to have that business in there. So I think that is put a heart and then somehow along the plan or something like that.
Honestly, and you can attest to this, in just about every one of the new developments and plans, it's always issues with parking and lighting. It comes up pretty much every time. And flood control.
I get that, my point is, if you get the business, the basement was, had lighting, off street parking, and that's where you light in there, and that's something that we're approved, that they can say, you're not following the rules, I mean, you lose your business over, or are they coming for appeal? I don't know, it just sounded like what I picked up the last couple of days about the business itself, there's the business aspect, and the tour, I think we should talk about that.
Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'm not comfortable with it.
I don't know what, no, I'm not sure what motion right now, I think there should be discussion. At some level by the village board, I'm not sure if it comes from public safety, but. We want business to thrive, we want it to grow. And we do have to work with them on solutions that balance our resident neighborhoods.
Right.
We have street parking, but we have to make it safe,
Am I to understand that Andres is not allowing any of the employees?
I don't know if they're not allowing or they're just encouraging park somewhere else because they have business there. But again, if it's a zoning issue, this could go back to zoning. and let them deal with it. I think what's on the table here is discussion possible action of requiring 2-hour parking, which, I mean, you can't focus this on a business. This is for everybody, right? Anybody coming here to visit or go to the park and then take a walk down the trail and leave their kiddos there. If they're parked there, you're all, they're gonna get the tickets too. It's not just the business. So that's the issue here. And that's the bigger issue that I see. And talking to some of the people are coming here from Madison, from all over to use that park. So, I mean, they're also shopping, they're also eating, and they park there, leave their kids there. 2 hours is not that long. If you go to the park, anyone who has kids or grandkids, 2 hours is not that long. So then to be fair, we're gonna be issuing tickets to people that are visiting the community. The business, I mean, you could play with that law. You've been in law enforcement. They could literally get in the car, drive around the block and park 10 feet away.
Not that I
And
used
it's-
to, but I used to chalk tires. So-
Right, but you can't do that anymore. So people can literally drive around the block. So it starts all over. So you could literally send somebody out there to go beyond that ordinance. Simple. It's so simple to pass. So that would only create an issue.
I still don't convenience the business,
Right.
parking there and so they
I just-
can cover the 2 hours, so it's-
That's
I would
think there's too much on the plate.
I would prefer that they just work together, right? That makes the most sense to me. Now, if it's a zoning thing, then I know that zoning's handling a lot of these issues with lighting. I mean, any development that comes here has got to deal with lighting, flooding, parking, and parks, right? And all the new developments and all of those things. So maybe it should go to zoning as part of, hey, you guys agreed.
That would be my.
Rather than a blanket 2-hour parking for everybody, because it seems more like this is very much spirited toward the business rather than the issue there, right? Than parking.
So do we make a motion to direct this to the zoning committee?
I don't think so. I don't think it's on here. I mean, I think that those that want to complain go to zoning. Let's say, hey, go to the village board, go to the village administrator. I don't see a public safety issue here.
I do.
People are parking there. There's concerns all over the community. We've dealt with them. There's not enough sidewalks. Kids are walking on the street. It's everywhere. There's a lot of public safety things that we could come up. This is not it. I'm not receiving a slew of complaints from the park people saying, hey, so many cars here that the kids are, I mean, we're not getting any of that. So this is more like a zoning issue to me.
Yeah.
So if that's how it played out, then, then I think Andrus Insurance they're the ones that brought the next businesses in there. They should deal with it. They're not in support of this at all, because I went to Kelly and asked. I said, so this is an issue. It's coming up to the board. And she's like, we are not in support of that kind of ordinance. But because it felt like it was just being created for a business. And I don't think law should be created for one specific person. If there's a public safety issue, great, then we should. But I disagree. So maybe this is already a issue just because of the way it was zoned and what they agreed to, which is what I think we have found.
Mhm.
But that complaint should probably go to the village administrator and village board through a different channel rather than public safety.
I agree with that, makes sense. I mean,
So no action.
Excellent. We'll move on to number 3. Discussing the possible action regarding stop signs on Lewis Street at American Legion Drive for Lewis Drive.
Okay, I reached out to public safe or public facilities, Jerry. And he does not want bumps, and he's brought this up before, because it's really hard for snow removal. It creates such a topic. But he was not opposed to a stop sign, and I think I've been monitoring that street, and the people do fly up and down there. The unfortunate part is it's mostly your neighbors that do it. And that's what we find in a lot of these things, is people are just trying to get home, and they're so used to that street that they're not even paying attention and they're moving. So, I mean, a stop sign makes sense there. I mean, there's a lot of traffic there. I was there for like an hour one day, and it was almost 50 vehicles that drove through there. So people do drive through there. So it's Lewis and Lewis and American Legion, which there's a nice park there. A lot of people go to that park too.
So that.
There- Yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, if, we've had participation from a gentleman from DOT, he's come to our meetings and he has said multiple times, stop signs don't really control traffic. I mean, that's what he does for a living, but I do think that if there was stop signs there, there's some enforcement that can be done.
So I'm trying to visualize it, would that make it from a three stop signs to four, so it's an all-way stop?
No, it'd be two to four.
Right, but then you would have. A four-way stop at the intersection, right?
Right. I'm in support of it. Like I said, there's a lot of traffic. Surprisingly, I never really noticed it till I just sat there and watched. There is.
The west, I think, is now.
Right.
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 I think that's reasonable to it, whole. The rest of that area. One area that can, just go and then, some people, I think, when I first found out. Each one's a legal.
Is that a motion that we recommend to go forward?
Yeah, they ultimately will say yea or nay.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, I got a motion in a second to. The streets and American Legion Drive, a four-way stop instead of only the two stop signs there.
Abby, do you want to make a comment? I know you came to the meeting, so.
Right on the intersection. I have 3 kids, and it came out of seconds, it took from the 21 old to make it down the drive, and 8 seconds today. Everyone's keep driving too. So there's kids in almost every house.
Oh, yeah.
In that area, the dog across the street actually got hit by a car. On the street a couple years ago, she's here, but I'm going to road now. And I would say most of the speeding traffic is the people driving up to the top of the street, so I know that there are some speeding people that are nervous, but my neighbor next door she just complained for her about up before. And some of the street, we got up across the street, and he looked into and going about a stop sign, people that used to really like as well, and she's like, I'm not also. I think with all the people on before it, I was like, I'm ready to whatever it needs to be done. To try to get a stop sign, but there's also on the stand the intersection, the bus stops for both state races and for the crossing school districts. So to have the bus stop where there would be a stop sign, I think would be better for the traffic coming.
It doesn't currently stop at a stop sign.
So, yeah, I guess they do, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's stopping where there's not a stop sign, or in the other direction.
What I would also just encourage you and your neighbors is to call us. And if you can get a plate number, we'll enforce it. I mean, after you do it I mean, the word will get out that, okay, they're not allowing us to speed up and down the street. Cause even putting a stop sign, trust me, a lot of stop signs, people roll right through. I mean, the wheels never stop moving, but at least they'll slow down, right? So, but please call us, just call and report it and, get a plate number if you can, picture of the car, whatever. And you can just call the non-emergency number. Somebody will respond to that call and help you out with it. Yes, Tim. It's four-way, three. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I think it's 3
That's three.
So we're trying to picture.
Just one. Here,
So we're making everybody's.
Yeah.
That's just like.
That's it. And so the next step would be going to the board.
Right.
What I will do is I'll prepare a memo with the recommendation of this committee, saying that's what they want. Jerry Gray, who's the public facilities guy, who's the one that installs them and puts that stuff up, he's okay with it, so that's hurdle probably number 2. And then now village board will take it on. So my plan would be to get it on the June agenda meeting. They meet the fourth Monday at 6 o'clock. It'll be in this room. If you want to attend to provide opinion, right?
This is my stance on that.
And we'll support it. I mean, usually Cameron's on the village board, chairman of the here, and me as the police chief. Okay,
Okay, so we're motion and second discussion.
I move that we recommend the village board starts.
I think, yeah, that's very good.
good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. So moved.
Go ahead. Sorry. I was already getting ahead of you. Nothing. No, you go ahead.
Discussion. Discussion regarding increasing the funding for family to stop. School bus funding.
Okay, so this one, really, we don't need to take any action. So we've had 83 school bus complaints in Dane County. Well, no, I don't need, not Dane County. Our school district alone, 83. In the village, we've probably had a dozen. We write tickets for every violation. If we get a complaint, it goes through a whole funnel of stuff. We usually get it in writing by the bus driver, goes to the transportation center, ends up in my inbox as a complaint, signed. This is a problem. If we can identify it, every now and again, you get a plate that doesn't come back. Somebody grabbed the wrong plate or wrote it down wrong or whatever. But if we can identify who it is, we write the citation every time. And the reason that is because of the safety of it. Now, I know that the school district is now going to be installing exterior cameras on all their buses. And that, so they have internal cameras now. But it's my understanding, I was at a meeting last week and they're looking at installing cameras on the outside to capture this because they're having so many complaints. We issue the citation every time we do an investigation. We contact the person, identify who did what. 99% of the time they admit to it and say, look, I was distracted, or you know what, I thought I didn't see the stoplight. In the morning people are racing, in the evening people are racing. So we usually write that ticket. So the recommendation was to increase that fine, but I don't think you need to increase it any further. The governor signed Act, I have it somewhere, and you guys should have probably seen it. Act 154, which makes the bond amounts a minimum of, and usually it was a minimum of $30 to $300 bond amount. That law, because of the incident in Reedsburg, there was a big incident in Reedsburg, that now the law changed to be a minimum of $500 up to $1,000. So right now, the lowest you could cite someone for this violation is $691. So that's very extensive move from 124 to 691. So I don't think the law's already changed, and so that's the law now. So I don't think we need to do anything. It's already written in law. So if we were going to increase it by $100, we would be outside of the law. So at this point, that's the fine amount, $691. If somebody blows past a school bus, it's in the book. So we technically don't need to do anything. The person that asked me to look into this is Cody. He also is a village board member, but he also has stake at he's part of the school transportation center. So he's upset over so many violations, and people are just blowing past school buses. We've seen it in town. We've had complaints in town. We've issued, like I said, probably a dozen tickets on it. Now these tickets will be $691. You could go up to $1,000. So the way it works, I put down the schedule at the very end. So if you went to the $1,000, that's the highest it could ever be. The ticket would be $1,321. That's almost double an OWI citation. So 691 is about citation that you would receive for drunk driving. So the governor made it pretty serious. So
When does that take effect?
so effect now, end of March became effect and now, so we have a system called Tracks that, when you write your ticket, it automatically auto-populates all the laws. There's been so many changes that they're not getting to this one till October to update that system. It's a statewide system and even other states use it. So it's gonna take a while, but we have been able to manipulate manually and change the bond amount. Usually that's the issue, is that usually when you write a ticket, it just populates what the amount is. Now, because that won't be updated till October, we have to manually do it. It's not a big deal. We changed it. Officers are aware of it. They've all been instructed to write that ticket. And yeah, it's probably gonna cause more court issue. People are gonna come to court and fight a $691 ticket. But I think it's serious
So if you
enough.
write the school bus ticket, is that ordinance level or is that state?
It's the ordinance level, but
Okay.
that's the violation.
State and override it, or basically.
Yeah. Yeah, all of our traffic laws all of the state laws, traffic laws are adopted.
Right.
In our statute, in our ordinances under 51, chapter 51. So this, it has a court fees and all of the things. So it's a pretty hefty fine. So when I was doing the research, I pulled all the Dane County agencies, and some were writing $98 tickets and some were writing, $691 tickets. But now with the law change, everybody has to write the same one.
Just a comment, and to your point, nothing we can do about it.
I mean, you can go higher. You can go higher.
Yeah.
That's the lowest.
Exactly.
So, but that's pretty high.
What do you think about just public communication on
Right.
this? Is that
And-
a thought?
Yeah, and I've done that. I do that right when the school starts. We do a public and they blast it. We also put it in the newsletter. But I think now, once it got past this committee, I'm gonna do another blast and let people know, hey, this is, and the fines are very hefty. So,
Just curious, with the cameras on the buses and things like that, would there ever be, maybe this is transportation recommendation, is some sign on the back of?
I don't know. I would imagine.
You see it on other,
I think they have it in the inside of those buses, kind of like you're being recorded type of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they do inside already. I'd have to confirm
Maybe
that.
a reminder of.
Yeah, you're being recorded.
Minimum $691. You know, going around. this.
Right, right.
All the lights they have on the buses now, I don't know how to do this.
Well, I don't know, some people don't.
Yeah, it's
Or-
It's crazy. I mean,
You gotta put a yellow warning. Then
The worst-
red.
the worst I've seen in town is a kiddo actually crossing the street and dodging a car that they were paused and then they still went to try to get around them. Just like they were just freaking out and like, I don't know what to do. And the kid's like, what'd I do? Like, and just the good thing is he stayed put and he was middle schooler, so he a little more mature and
Yeah.
kind of stayed put. And I was right there, so I lit the guy up and he's like, I didn't know what to do. I was just, like, the red lights, don't give it away, like stop signs, like this kid is like playing hula, it's like trying to avoid getting hit. So I mean, it's crazy and I think he was on his cell phone. I think that's a lot of it is, a lot of people are they're in their phone, right? So, but anyway, this fine is very steep.
It doesn't sound like, are you taking action? Because.
I think, I mean, you guys can go a lot higher, but you guys gotta have a heart, guys.
I mean, what was it before? It was
$124. So, well, so 124 total, so it was a $50 ticket in town. It's $50 and then 124 is the total. That includes all the cost fees. So now the ticket in town will be $500, which is 10 times the amount. When you get into the fees, it goes to $691 because court costs and stuff.
Doing this, you say now.
Right.
And then when you do a Facebook post, we just, as a reminder, the city has increased.
Yeah, right.
There's minimum to 500, so.
Right.
Definitely, it's not good.
The one that I had noted was, a debrief, we talked about on Oral. What it means to us, what were some of the lessons learned, best practices at the school level. As well as law enforcement. Work with a couple people who. Had children that were part of that incident, unfortunately. Ask them that question, you know, what ETA and what are the discussions coming out? One of the things from a school perspective was, multiple scenario. Drills.
Yeah.
It sounds awful anytime you think about this, but it's not just law enforcement, it's the kids. A lot of the training that had been done at Hora was in classroom.
Right.
The barricading and things like that.
I can tell you from
It's not
our
as-
perspective is not anywhere near that. Middleton Cross Plains is very much in, like, they do a lot of training. They have a person that is hired to be the safety coordinator for the entire school district. So he works in all the schools. They have a lot of drills. We're part of a lot of the drills. They actually have people exit out. St. Francis is even doing them, even though they don't fall into the public system, but they test the drill, how long it would take you to exit, what would you do for active shooter. We give presentations at all our schools about that, at the beginning of before the school year begins, just to talk about the dangers. So, I mean, I'm not saying anything Mount Horeb did. I was at Hot Wash with Mount Horeb the other day where they talked about all of these things. And as I was thinking, I'm like, God, thank God we do that, we do this, we do. But I can tell you from experience that no matter how much you plan, I mean, we've done active shooter training, which Cameron knows because he's been shot by some of our sim rounds, and we do a lot of active stuff. And we just got done training. We did a fire EMS, police joint training on active shooter just the other night. So we train a lot. It doesn't matter. That is worst case scenario for any first responder. Like going to something like that with our most precious people is tough. And there's going to be a lot of mistakes and a lot of, like, what should we leave or whatever. We could do a debrief. I could invite somebody from Mount Horeb. I know that they'll probably be working on an after action report for themselves. And a lot of emergency management is really heavily involved. So a lot of that will be sent to all of us to make sure hey, did you do this? Or how do you do that? I do have to toot our horn because Cross Plains, Middleton Cross Plains Area School District is eons ahead of a lot of people. They really do spend a lot of time on that. The guy who's in charge now he's stepping down, and they've already hired a new person to take that position. They take it very seriously, and so we work with them a lot of information stuff.
Whether there's a new best practice to be considered, there's also the communications, the community that it's been evaluated, it's being worked into the emergency response plan.
Right.
There's that call after that too.
Our big.
And again, for that scenario was, like a lot of drills are often, in the classroom. Great. That's.
I can tell you for us, it's outside and they don't plan them like in the morning where everybody's in the classroom. It's like wherever to try to catch those that are in the hallway to run or whatever they're doing. So, I mean, they're doing a great job, but it might be something to bring to this committee in the future as we start to think about it, or once this after action report becomes public, then maybe we just bring it here or whatever, but.
I would encourage it to be a public discussion. So as much as you don't want to talk about it, you want talking about it.
No, I think you should talk about it.
And invite conversation.
Right.
Folks that use, and this is my kids are, of course, they're empty nest now, but
Sure.
That's what I would want. Whether I take it up or, to come in, that's what I would want, is the opportunities to hear and have an adult conversation with all kids. So. Something to think about, this recommendation.
Give someone a home here, you know,
I mean, I don't know if they will talk about their incident, but maybe I could reach out. I mean, we have a new public safety or safety director that's just been hired. I'd want to give him maybe a month or so to just get his feet wet, and maybe have him do a presentation of what safety means
Yeah.
in the school district.
and it does. you know, Kids that are. They did communication, a month ago, they sent out stuff that said, you know, this is the different. That's what I got. Just for the parents. Chief Tony, the chief of police from Middleton did a joint video on kind of, you know, if there is an event. It's sent to all parents in the meeting.
Right.
You know, said if there was a incident or whatever, you know, this is how you should deal with proper stuff and it's going. So they do. My job for the company that makes software for schools, I'm wearing like 20% of schools, there's some school safety software, you can just echo what he's saying. The Middleton Cross County School District is.
Yeah.
I think the schools are all over the country. Their emergency preparedness and plans is just.
Yeah, it's very good. So, but it might be good to just have them, you know, that position come and talk maybe before the school year starts to this committee, invite people to be part of that. I think that'd be great. It falls in line with the emergency operation plan that I created during the last cycle. It's already embedded in there, because it's incident command. And so I mean, that's why we're practicing a lot together, to make sure that all of us first responders work together. The next project we're working on now is like even just a crash. But soon we're going to be working on active threat. Okay. Because some of us have responded as what's called RTFs, which is a kind of a response team in warm zones where you bring in fire EMS to pull victims out. So we've actually worked on that. June 11th, there's a full function, well, not all the way full with actors, but we've been working for a year at the Middleton Cross Plains School District to bring a functional exercise, which we're going to have an active threat with people down, and it's not with actors. That would be full, and that's going to take a little more planning. But this one is like, okay, what's everybody's assignment if we have an active threat at the high school, and what would we do? Who would do what? So there's been a lot of honestly, there's a lot of planning in our school district. It's really good, really good. So I'm, you know, but I preface that even though it's great and every one of us knows each other and we've been working, when it happens, it's usually somebody's gone on vacation, the guy that's supposed to pull the thing, is not here, or something didn't work. That's right. Right. So I think we prepare, plan, and
Well, it's both relevant right now, unfortunately,
Right.
at the same time, we've seen how many alarms and sirens, tornado, we've had a flood, which is why I jumped out of the game 3 years ago, 2018. Those plans and those contingencies, that where is unfortunately needed. Rather than just next to know that they're being evaluated,
right.
and
Yeah, I think we can do it as a meeting, kind of invite the community type of meeting to come and listen to Asher, listen to us as our plans, and we'll invite, you know, obviously fire chief, police chief, and or, EMS chief and their deputy chiefs.
great.
We'll have a good conversation.
The only other note that I have is National Night Out.
Yep.
Right, 88, so August 8th, 5-7 at Glacier Creek. Reached out to the first, things like that, but I think as long as we can all promote and
Right.
encourage all the civic organizations and residents to
Attend that.
attend, it's a pretty cool event, and we'll try to support the Lions, of course, but yeah, I think it fits well with what we're trying to accomplish here. It's kind of joint.
For sure.
So,
It's 5 to 7.
For,
Yep,
both of this number.
right. Yeah, I'll be honest, Officer Kimball does an exceptional job putting that together on her end. Obviously, she has a lot of partners with fire EMS and that, but she's got it down to a science, so she's got everybody kind of in call and, you know, she's able to organize it. I just kind of step away and let her do her thing and just give her the time to do it, and she just does a great job, so.
Glacier Creek this year.
Yep, and MedFlight is landing and it's some cool stuff. So pretty excited.
Alright, next, scheduling the next meeting.
It looks like it would be the
17th.
18th.
Yes.
That's Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Tuesday the 18th, 7 o'clock, is that? What's the folks?
Yep.
So we will schedule next public safety. 18th, I guess, you know, we don't have to go topics or something, we can cancel.
Right. Village board meeting would be June 24th, so that's when they'll take up that item. Welcome.
Good. You want to have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Second. Alright, any discussion? Favor say aye.
Aye.
All those say